Target acquired.
Got a Marauder Delta 3 low.
New target acquired.
Welcome to the channel, Gaming Army. The two drops in this video have us in our Hunchback. It is a Hunchback 4H. Now, as far as the chassis goes, this is very similar to the Hunchback 4G as far as hard points. What we have changed up in this chassis for our loadout is we've gone away from the AC-20 in the right shoulder to an LB-20 in the right shoulder. We have 4 medium lasers for backup and a top speed of 68 kph. Now, I've already traded a couple of shots with enemy targets, and I see a little piranha down here harassing my teammates, and this mech is suited for hunting down lights, but I'm getting shot in the back, and here comes a Crusader. He must have been on the high ground and decided to drop down. I'm getting some support fire from my teammates, and he has very quickly lost that left arm, and he's open left torso, so I'm going to push him and see if we can't finish the deal on that left torso. He's trying to escape onto the ramp, and as he heads back up to the high ground, we managed to get the kill shot. Now, there's plenty of other enemy targets that I can engage from this side, and we're going to do so. It looks like Delta 3 is pretty hot right now, and we're going to see what damage we can get done. I would like to be a little closer on the range. After all, this is kind of a shotgun main weapon, and I'm giving it a little time to develop. I'm hoping those two units either move forwards or backwards and I can get a clear shot, but they aren't doing that. But that's okay. I'll use that time to cool down. The only mistake that I can see is I was a little bit early putting out my artillery strike. If I had waited and come around the corner, I could have gotten a much better angle and placement for that artillery strike. One of my teammates is pushing in directly. I'm going to opt to kick out to the right a little further, and there is a Roughneck, and he is open left torso, so maybe we can get some work done on his mech as well. Now, you might be saying to yourself, why did you kick further out to the right? And that's because of the way this mech is set up. My big gun is in that right shoulder, so I want to peek and lead with that right torso. Now, here comes the wounded Incubus, and we are able to get the kill on him, so that takes him off the board. But again, this is why I'm looking to do right-hand peeks in the Hunchback, is that I only want to expose the big gun to fire and then pull back into cover. Here comes Juan's tip of the day. So if you notice that shift in your vision, it means I zoomed in to look at the enemy unit across the way. And when you zoom in, you lose a lot of your peripheral vision, and that's why I shot the building, because I couldn't see that I was actually still tucked into the little nook and cranny on the side of that building. So be aware of that when you're zooming in and out. Your field of vision will shrink and expand accordingly. Now, I see some enemy units still towards Delta 3. That's where this Orion is coming up out of, and if he peeks just a little bit, I can get just a chip shot on him. And looking at his paper doll, he is very damaged and open. I come around the right side again. I'm going to push him from the right. Probably could have gone straight in, but I'm looking at the Orion, who is straight ahead of me, and I know there's a Blood Asp with him, but I believe they're moving more towards Delta 4, and that was the call that was put out, that they're pushing Delta 3, and I assume they're going to Delta 4, and this is where my assumptions come out to bite me in the butt. I am not counting on the fact that, number one, I'm going to find this Marauder sneaking around out here to my left. I've exposed myself to the Blood Asp, who did push forward, so I can be focused by him. I have managed to put myself into a real pickle. I'm being focused by two different mechs from two different angles, and I need to get away from them. I'm giving them a little bit of my back armor, trying to give them the left side because that is the shield side on this mech. And the Blood Asp comes around from his last known position a whole lot faster than I was anticipating, as well as the Marauder moving up to join him a whole lot faster than I was anticipating. So now I am down to being fully defensive. I've lost my right side, and I'm down to 2 medium lasers, and the enemy mechs are definitely on the hunt for me, and unfortunately that Marauder is very, very fresh. I kept the enemy busy long enough for them to take out the wounded Orion, and it looks like I did get some work done on the Blood Asp, who was open CT, but this Marauder is still fresh, even though it's 2 versus 1, and he is focusing the Hunchback very heavily at this point, and down goes our Hunchback. It's up to the Blood Asp, but oh, he is open CT, and the Marauder manages to get the kill shot. Switching over to our end screen, we wind up with 2 kills, 6 assists, 614 damage done. Jumping into our next match, this one is also a domination match, but this time we're on Grim Plexus, and the enemy units have pushed into the Gulf 7 area in force, and we've managed to find this Mauler a little bit out of position. Now, it's not quite the range I would like to engage from, but I'm just doing a little bit of chip damage to back him off, letting him know that I know that he's there. I'm going to change angles here so that I can keep up the harassing fire on that Mauler, and one of my teammates gets out a very well-placed UAV, and you can see the bulk of the enemy team has pushed towards Gulf 8 much further. So now that I know that, I can join the rest of my teammates who are making the push across the 7 line without fear that there's enemy units bunched up on the backside of Gulf 7. Information is key on the battlefield. Now I'm going to break to the right and go down into the trench here a little bit, because that Mauler was last seen in this location, and I want to make sure that he is fully cleared out and not waiting back here in the trench to jump us. And it looks like the trench is clear, so I'm going to keep pushing forward, and there's our Mauler friend. He is open CT, and he's going to get himself finished off before I can get in to do any real damage. And now a teammate has spotted a Blood Asp who is out of position in the Hotel 7 low ground, so we're going to push forward and join him, raining down some shots on this Blood Asp. Now I'm going to stay focused on him, and it looks like the bulk of my teammates are staying focused on him as well, and he quickly goes down, and we manage to chalk up our first kill of the match. Now I'm swinging back around, because if the enemy team is starting to NASCAR, they're going to be coming around the 7 line any minute now, and this will help me engage them faster than trying to run and catch up with the tail end of my teammates. And there is a little light, looks like maybe a spider, from the enemy team running towards our lines, and let's see if we can move in and get some shots on him. It is indeed a spider with twin light PPCs. Now the loadout on this mech is perfect for taking on fast-moving lights, and that's because of the LB-20. It has a spread pattern and is more of a shotgun-style weapon, so as long as you can get close to that fast mover, you'll probably catch him in your spread pattern, unless you don't lead them like that last shot. But now that he's moved in, we're definitely landing some shots on target, and we're doing some work on that right torso. It's not looking quite as strong as it did a minute ago, and he's had enough. He's running back to his teammates, and I need to beat feet and get out of here, because they are pushing now into the high ground en masse and force. The only thing saving me right now is that they were focusing one of my teammates and not really paying as much attention to me, and that allows me to get into cover around the buildings and continue my left turn right into an enemy Warhammer. We take half of his mech, continue swinging around, and once again it looks like the enemy is focusing my teammates and not even aware that I'm here. So that's going to give us a shot on the Shadowhawk, who we knew was open from before, and he goes down. A back shot on the Warhammer. I don't get the kill, but a teammate gets the kill, and that's okay. It frees us up to deal with this urban mech. Now a couple of problems I'm going to have is, number one, I'm running pretty hot after running through the enemy backfield a moment ago, and the other problem I'm going to have is torso-mounted weapons and changes in elevation. So there's going to be some times where I can't quite get the shot that I'm looking for, but we still manage to focus and take out the urban mech. The score is now 9-5. We definitely have a good grasp on the power curve at this point, and it's just a question of hunting down the enemy units. It appears we have enemy contact in Fox 7, so I'm going to join my teammates heading in that direction, and something just ran across in front of me. I'm not sure what that was. It looks like, yes, that's the spider from earlier in the game. We'll get a shot on him. My teammates take out whatever the other unit was, Fox 7. So now we're looking at taking out this spider, and then there's one other unit left. Now he's jumping around being evasive, but here's a trick. If you wait for them to land after doing a jump, there's just a split second before they start running again, and that means that they are vulnerable. Now, I didn't sweep the leg, but a teammate manages to get the kill, and that's okay. So we're down to last man standing on the enemy team, and I'm checking the board to see what his status is. For those of you that don't know that trick, hit the tab key. That's what brought that screen up. And the reason I'm checking it is because the capture timer is counting down, which means he's not in the circle. And by checking that screen, I wanted to see if he had ping or was a disconnect. It doesn't say if he's AFK somewhere, but at least you'll know if he's a disconnect or not. And there is something off in the distance coming in Fox 6 low ground, and he must have been AFK or disconnected at the beginning of the drop and is coming late to the party, and I feel bad for him because he is so outnumbered at this point. So it's 1v7 in the center. His left torso is open, right arm is gone, and he is focused from every conceivable direction until he goes down. So switching over to the end screen on this game, we wind up with 3 kills, 7 components destroyed, 721 damage done.